Wrestling on the Fly, everybody, for part 4 of The Butcher. Back here, now we're getting towards the end of the PCW era here. A couple more matches here. And we left off last time I mentioned that you get a tag team with an ECW original legend, the one and only Tommy Dreamer. Mm-hmm. You guys defeat Jay Phoenix and Whiplash. What was it like to team with a guy that is, I could assume, one of your heroes, being the things that he did, and both of us grew up watching ECW and we loved the hell out of it?
Well, going to ECW, I had a friend. He was real close. You know, he died probably a year and a half of me being in the business. We used to go to ECW all the time. He loved Dreamer. I mean, Man in the Box hitting was just like...
You guys went to the shows when they came here?
Yeah, two at the Odeum and one at the Aragon. And it was just the Man in the Box was like, wow. So I told myself, I told myself, you know, it was kind of towards the end of my career, you know, I'm like, I'm going to enjoy every minute of that. Man in the Box, I'm standing in the ring, Man in the Box is playing, Tommy's coming out. And there were a couple things that kind of like do a little wrench, because I first heard about it. I'm like, this is going to be awesome, you know, tagging with Tommy. But it was at the Addison venue. I would have rather it be at the Midlow venue, because not all our fans were big on the South Side, and not all of them were going to come out. And if it would have been at Midlow, it would have been like the Butcher tagging with Tommy Dreamer. At Addison, it was kind of like Tommy tagging with this independent guy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, and the other thing was, it was a bad snowstorm. And then we were supposed to have Tammy Lynn Sitch come in, who, you know, the girls, they draw. You know, so it was a bad snowstorm. She couldn't make it in. We had like 100-something people there. You know, it wasn't what we were expecting. But I'm like, I'm still taking with Tommy Dreamer. Yeah. That's all that matters. Right. When Man in the Box comes, I'm going to soak up every minute of it. So then, you know, they have a little balcony thing at Addison, and Tommy comes out. And, of course, he comes out to his WWE music.
Really?
Yeah, really. So, like, there goes that. So, Tommy gets in the ring, proceeds to put over the company, me, the fans, just in a very mild voice, without raising it at all, just puts over everybody. And the last thing he says before he leaves the ring, hey, sound guy, if you don't play the Man in the Box later when I come out, I'm going to cane your ass. So it's like, I mean, from the bottom of my heart, Tommy Dreamer, thank you for threatening to cane the sound guy. Because then I got my moment, man. Yeah. I soaked that up. And then after, you know, we had a great match. We're all over the building. I asked Tommy, you know, what he thought of me after the match. He said, I thought you did really well. He goes, I think the only thing I would give you is you should have shined more on the outside. You should have kind of like taken on your own. And I didn't reply to him because that would be disrespectful. But my thinking was I was trying to let him shine. You know what I mean? Yep. So, but, you know, the way Tommy thinks, it's like, forget me, I'm over, you get over. You know what I mean? But it was just, oh, man, at the end, I'm just following around the ring, man, the box is playing. It's just a moment, man. Just a moment. Like, hey, ECW, what it meant to us, and just to be tagging with Tommy. I wish my buddy Kenny was there so bad to see that, but, you know, he was looking down and saw it. But it was just, man, I can't even put it into words. You know, being with someone from ECW. And it was like, June Night 4, we were talking about the match I had in Sacrifice. Sabu was in. And I was real cool with Fonzie. And, you know, Fonzie came and changed by me, so Sabu was. And we were talking a little bit. And they were there pretty early, like before we put the stuff under the ring. They were still putting up the ring. Okay. So I had my barbed wire doors and all my toys, like, hanging right there. And he goes, oh, this shit looks cool. I'm like, yeah, I'm using it tonight. I actually had the privilege of going over, like, the barbed wire door and all these little things and have Sabu give me critiques, like, maybe do this. You know, when you go through the barbed wire door, make sure the barbed wire is, like, hooked on you a little bit. You know, make just little small things. And for me, that was like, having Sabu do it. And we even talked, that was a week after the original One Night Stand.
Oh, yeah.
So we actually talked about that. I'm like, have you ever, like, watched it back? And he's like, no. I'm like, dude, Foley fucking put you over. Foley said, everybody calls me the king of hardcore. He goes, it's really Sabu. And Sabu was like, he's full of shit. He's the fucking man. So the respect.
Yeah, that's cool.
I appreciated the respect, but just having, and then, I mean, like I said, I got to work with New Jack. It's like, just amazing. Have Sabu, like, sit there and just, it was like, this guy was like a genius, He's like, for us, for guys like us
so
and Two
far
Fingers.
Ahead of his time.
Yeah. To just, these little things. And that's what it is. The same thing in cooking, Cooking, and that's what I do. I mean, I tell everybody all the time. I can't fix a car. I can't do, everywhere else in life, I'm lost. You put me in a kitchen, I know what the hell I'm doing. You put me in a ring, I know, I got that feeling, like, I know what to do. If shit goes wrong, I know how to fix it. In those two places, and they're very similar things because it's something you can never learn too much.
Sure.
With wrestling and cooking, you can never learn enough, and it's just, plus you got to be a certain type of person to do it too.
You got to be a little bit nuts, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, I work with these chefs in their 50s and their 60s, and they're all broken down just from doing this their whole
Being on
life.
their feet all day long.
And it's like, man, between the wrestling shit and me doing, and I used to be a butcher, loading shit up, man, it's like, I'm like, my 60s aren't going to be too much fun. I'm 2 years away from 50, and I ain't having, trouble sleeping, all that shit.
Oh, yeah.
But hey, I mean, that's one thing. I deal with a lot of pain through work, through everything else, It's like I'm always in pain, but if I had a chance to change it, not for a minute.
Nope.
Not for a minute.
I love it too much to change it, and we did what we did.
Exactly.
Yep. I got one more PCW entry in March, but before that, in February, that plaque up on that wall says Hall of Fame on it. Mm-hmm. Tell me about your Hall of Fame night.
So it was supposed to be a bunch of different people. Joe Heisman came up with the idea. He's like, I know you're already in the Hall of Fame. It would be cool to do a match. Like, he had this whole idea where, you don't deserve it, this whole type of thing. And I'm like, dude, I'm not in the Hall of Fame. He goes, I thought I'd put all the older guys in. I'm like, no, they never put me in sacrifice in because they didn't want to make us look old. They wanted to keep us young. That was always the thing. And he's like, well, the time has come. And then Joe turned babyface. So we had, at the time we had Vic Capri was supposed to be my opponent that night, which would have been fucking awesome. Mm-hmm. I love Vic Capri. I've always he's got to be considered one of the best in Chicago. I mean, I don't think I can name a company where he hasn't been their champion. Mm-hmm. And plus he just keeps going. Mm-hmm. This guy does crazy ass match night after night and just keeps going. I don't know how he does it. I've always been a huge fan of Vic Capri. Never got to that match. Hardcore Pondo was thrown in the mix at the time.
Yuck.
Yeah. I think it would have been interesting because he was actually, we had, she's now known as Sarah Logan. Crazy Mary was working for us. Yeah. So he was dating her. He came to the show. So we were going to do that whole thing. And then it was like one person after another just kept dropping, for this Hall of Fame match. It ended up being me and Whiplash. So, PL came out. He shouldn't have it. We did our whole little thing, But, it was cool. It was more like a storyline type thing. But, having the plaque on the wall means a lot, from being from PCW and all that, Sure. Right next to, that's usually where I keep the belt right there. So it's like the plaque and the belt.
Yeah. The Wall of Fame now.
Yeah, pretty much.
At the last date I have is 3/22 of 2014, March of Mayhem, you and Rion Skills together in Midlothian. Is that the final show? Because actually you were telling me that you decided to step away before they...
After that there was another Dream Night.
Okay. That's the last match I have for you in PCW.
That was, me and Rion just did our thing. I think he was still a champion at the time. So I think I put him over in the match, and we just had fun. The last year I was doing like maybe 5 matches. Okay. I did. I was at every show. Like, we did this whole thing with the Connection where I acted like I was going to join the Connection. BL gave me his jersey.
Oh.
Yeah, like his actual jersey. You know, and then I ended up wiping my ass with it and throwing it in his face. And we did a lot of, like, fun little things in between. But, so then I was going to, like, I had done everything I could do over there. I had went on a couple tryouts. Like, so with me, I had just wanted to be in this business, just do it. But after about like 8-10 years in, I'm like, it's like every show I worked, I got somebody from the crowd telling me, you should be in front of 25 or 20,000 people. I should be watching you on my TV. I should be doing this. I should, and I started to kind of believe, like, maybe I got a shot. Maybe I got a shot in this. I mean, if so many people are thinking that way, and then a couple of, I'm not going to mention their names. I'm sure they wouldn't care, but they told me years ago never to mention this. But there are two pretty well-known security guards in the Chicago area that were doing stuff with Steve Kern, who was the current, at the time, doing the developmental.
In Florida, right?
Yeah. So they wanted me to give them some stuff. They were like, we go to all these shows in Chicago, and when you're about to come on, people leave the bathroom. People just want to be there, see what the hell the Butcher's going to do next. So I'm like, I appreciate it. Here's what I got. Kern wanted me to gain some weight. He said, come back in like a year. And at first, instead of gaining the 15 pounds he wanted, I dropped 10. But then by that year, sure enough, I was up to 215. And by that time, Nova took over the booking, who probably would have really liked me being an ECW guy, but I had no contact to him. Gotcha. That's how this business goes. So I did a tryout with TNA. Didn't go very well for me. I went in my gimmick. I had D'Lo Brown as the guy running it. But it was cool. I got to meet, like, the Hebner and his son. I get to meet a lot of people behind the scenes. I met the Hardy. Well, I knew Matt. Matt was in before, but I got to meet Jeff and the Beer Money. They were together at the time. Samoa Joe, Austin Aries. I had met him before too, but I got to meet some people over there. But D'Lo didn't seem like he was too into me from the beginning. And then I had to do a match. And this goes with judging a book by its cover. This guy I was supposed to work, he looked good. He looked like he'd been around, whatever. So start going over the match. And I'm like starting to talk, and he's like kind of like deer in headlights. And I go, how long you been doing this? He goes, well, I signed 6 months ago, but I've only been, going to a couple practices. And I'm like, you're my fucking tryout match.
Wow.
It fucking sucked. We were supposed to go 4 minutes. We did about close to 3, and I went home. And D'Lo's, he didn't even go 3 minutes, whatever. One thing I was always told, if the match ain't going nowhere and it sucks, take the fucking thing home. So that's what I did. And I was kind of put in a no-win situation, but, I took what I did. I took, what he said to heart and whatever. I called up Rick. Rick said, fuck him. He's like, nobody ever paid. These are Rick's exact words. Nobody ever paid to WrestleMania to see D'Lo Brown. He goes, when I talk to our fans and tell them who I'm bringing in for Dream Night, they're like, I don't care what kind of matches Butcher's going to do. So he's like, you sold tickets. He goes, so he was just trying to make me feel better, and it did. But then I got a WWE tryout. So I ended up wrestling a guy who, the guy I picked was a short, little fat guy with a little pop belly. And I'm like, oh, okay, here we go again. So then I start talking to him. He goes, all you got to know about me is, he's like, I'm like the bastard son of Arn Anderson. Who, Arn Anderson is my favorite wrestler.
Yeah, perfect for you.
We ended up having a great match. I knew it was coming, like when the spine. And I got to 3 people were sitting right at a table at the ring while I was wrestling. Jim Ross, Gerald Briscoe, and Danny fucking Hodge. I got to perform in front of Danny fucking Hodge. I mean, that shit was really cool. But and I had some friends come down with me, and they're like, Tina, who's been, I should mention her more. She's had my back through this whole business. My buddy Joey they had my back through everything. They came down with me, and they're like, your match was the only time where their expression changed, you know. And like I did the spine buster, I set up where I'm looking right, I'm looking right at him as I'm going up, trying to do all the little things, And it was pretty much put to me, I was just about to turn 36, that they loved my charisma, they liked what I did, but I was going to need a good 3 years of something in developmental. I wasn't TV ready in no fucking means of the way, But they loved what I did. But Ross is like, how can I sell you to McMahon? 3 years, by that time you're going to be almost 40. By the time I'd be ready. Right. So it's like, I took it for what it was. And I was just happy that, they saw something in me. That it wasn't like a total joke. Because in the back of your head, sometimes you think, I suck, I ain't this, But to have someone like that, and Gerald Briscoe was kind of like, he didn't say much, just kind of giving me little pats, like, good job, kid, type thing, So it was cool. And Danny Hodge almost broke my fucking hand. He was probably about 80. I shook his hand. He was probably in his mid-80s. Yeah. Oh, my God. Almost broke my fucking hand. And
because I always ask everybody that, because I've met him before at the Gulf Coast reunion in Mobile, Alabama, and he asked me to lock up with him, and he put me in a fucking shoot hold. So I know the feeling, and I know the power of that.
Oh yeah,
it's unbelievable.
But yeah, I mean, kind of the reason I'm getting into it is after that, it's kind of like I stopped going full speed. Like every month, every booking, I cut back a little, and kind of getting into Dream Night 13. It was like, hey, I think I'm just going to probably do my little retirement thing for, because I wasn't sure if that would be it, but I wanted to do the retirement match to get Big Rob over a little more. Mm-hmm. I got him over at Dream Night 11. I wanted, and if the company would have went on, like I said, I was in the booking. He was on his way to Dream Night next year as champion. Mm-hmm. Walking in and out as champion. That's where we were going. So I wanted to give him that one last push and, on the way out the door. So I did that. And then the problem was, man, we had a fucking awesome match planned. And it was going really, really well. We had 3 spots left. And something I'd done before with people, they call it like the lawn dart. They get you on your shoulder, they throw you in the ring post. And I would always push off and take it. Well, while I was pushing off, something kind of didn't work. Maybe sweat, maybe his motions, like we didn't connect, It could have been on me, it could have been on him. I think it was more on me. Because I think he was just trying to safely put me in there. And I'm trying to push off like a fucking maniac, So after that, I went flying down like this. Onto the apron.
Okay.
Boom. Yeah. Boom. Just like that. And it hurt pretty bad, but I've been hurt pretty bad before, and things went back to normal. So the next spot was actually I was supposed to get some color. So, I got color while I was nursing that, and then I get up and it's just not getting better. And it's not getting better, and I got no fucking strength in my arm. And the last 3 spots were supposed to be I body slam him, which ain't gonna fucking
It's not gonna happen.
Taking a power driver, and this was all going to be on tax. Body slam on the tax, and I was going to take a power driver from him on the tax. And to take that move, you need, you need to place yourself and be safe. And then the last spot was going to be a big power bomb from the top through a table with thumbtacks over the top and on the bottom. I wanted to go out, the way I wanted to go out, but it turned out we just put the table on the outside of the door. We put it on the outside, pushed me off, and we went home right there without the final 3 spots. It sucked. It still bothers me to this fucking day. But what I'll never forget is once I got back to my feet, and Mike Gilmartin, I should have mentioned him more. He was a guy, he worked for UIC. He was a head trainer for the basketball team. He was with us. He was with me through pretty much my whole career. He came in the company around the time I started. Mike, because Mike knew, my problem with doctors is I would go to the doctor, they'll wrestle for 3 or 4 months. Mike knew that wasn't going to happen. So Mike was like, Mike would do what he could to get me through each match, take me up a certain way, do this, tell me while I'm off, work. I've even went out to UIC a couple times, and he worked with me on stuff. So Mike was, he came out and he was holding my arm in a certain way. And we were like, let's say, square right here. This is the entrance. We were right here. So Mike has to take me to there, but the crowd was just, thank you, Butch. I mean, it was going real loud. So I'm like, we got to go around again. We got to go around. We got to go around once. And they were still going. So I'm like, Mike, we got to go around again. He's like, yeah. And it was just, the love from the fans was, and I was too hurt to do it, but I wanted to do a little speech. You know, I wanted to tell them, you know, because I'm just one of them. That's all I am. I'm just a fan who loves this shit, and I got to do it. You know, and thanks to, and the Dream Night crowd was pretty much consistent. You know, they wouldn't come to shows all year, but some of them would come for the big names, and, you know, I always had their support. So it was, you know, I just wanted to tell them, you know, I love all you guys, everything you did, all those. I mean, it's just, I still look back to this day. I was actually in a ring with a bunch of people chanting my name, Butcher, or Butcher's gonna kill you, or any of that shit, you know. Yeah. But the holy shit chants were probably, because then you knew you did something. Mm-hmm. You know how it is. Yep. The holy shit chants. But it was just, I mean, PCW was like the greatest thing that ever happened to me. I mean, it changed me as a person, the way I look at things, the confidence I have in myself, just the way I get life. You know, there's a lot of things you're confused about in life that I get now. I understand. Sometimes you got to sacrifice more than you want to have good things happen. And just, it's just the way things are, the way I interact with people. You know, I meet somebody at work that's new, I'm the first one to go up and shake their hand because I was taught to always introduce myself as a wrestler. You know, shit like that, it made my life better. You know, I'm a better person because of wrestling and mainly because of PCW. And then we're talking about the closing. Like I said, I didn't even know. Me and my wife went to, you know, my friend's dad, Joe, he always played the Christmas parties. I missed a lot of stuff when I was wrestling. Saturday nights, you know. If I was wrestling, I didn't go. I didn't go to the wedding. I didn't do this. You know, I went to wrestling. That was what I did. So I'm like, I'm going to go to a Christmas party this year. Then we get a call from Tina telling us PCW closed down tonight. So I went right down the street from where we're at now, the Pyramid Club. Everyone was hanging out because the show was at Addison. And I went there and just, you know, said my goodbyes. And, you know, that was it. The company was over.
3 years later, a company called POW comes into the picture for you. How did you end up over there after being off for 3 years?
Well, like I had said earlier in the interview, Jimmy always told me I had a home. Mm-hmm. And, you know, I really honestly think if we would have done those last 3 spots and things would have finished the way they would have finished with that match with Big Rob, I would have, you know, got to talk to people and go, not end up in the hospital and go out the way I wanted to go out. I might not have went back to POW, but I might have.
Closure, kind of, you had to come back for kind of.
But I might have either way. But I was bullshit with Jimmy, you know, because Jimmy right away when we went, Wally had tried to get everybody work from the company. He didn't want anybody to be without a company.
Yeah, so after it was done, he tried to get everybody.
Yeah, Wally was very good about that, man. Wally deserves a lot of credit for that, too. So, you know, Jimmy's like, you know, I definitely want Joe Heisman. I want Butcher. He's like, Butcher's not wrestling anymore. He's like, damn, you know? But, I mean, I know he wanted Joe right away, and I think there were a couple other guys. I think he wanted Tommy or a couple of the other, like, Youth Gone Wild, a couple of them guys. So, but then, like, a couple years later, we're at Wally's house for a party, and me and Jimmy are just talking, drinking a beer by the fire, and he's like, you know, we were just talking. I'm like, yeah, I kind of got that itch, and he's like, well, we're doing a battle royal at Rage. You know, it'd be cool to get you in there. I'm like, well, let's do it, you know? And then next thing you know, I'm like, I never went full-time with POW, though. And see, that's one thing I look back in a negative way with myself with POW is, you know, there's ring rust. People don't understand. You're out of the ring for a while, man. It's hard to get back.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a good 3 years out, and I never got back on a regular schedule. I'm doing like once a month, maybe once every 2 months. I never really got back to where I was, you know. So I mean, I had a lot of fun. I got to work people like Cairo and Rough Crossing and people that I never thought I'd work. I got to tag with Jeff Luxon, a guy I worked shows with before but never got to actually work with. You know, it was a lot of fun. I got to work with Nick and you. I mean, that match I had with you was without a doubt my favorite match in POW because Jimmy was trying to take care of me. He knew I was 110%, and like he had to do what Wally and them did. He had to protect me from myself because I was just like, I don't care. I'll do this. I'll do that. I'll do that. And they knew that in the long run it wouldn't be good for me. But when me and you had that first match, we went in and talked to Jimmy like, we got to do more. We just talking to you, it's just like, no, fuck, we got to do this. And it's funny that the three people involved in this match are sitting right here. You know, I mean,
yeah, because he was my manager at the time. So
but Rick was the MVP of the first half of the match because we didn't even plan it. We and you kind of went out there like we had things more planned for the second half. The first half we were just going out there and brawling. And then Nick got involved, and I'm kind of like, hey, Nick, I wonder if he's like, go ahead, you know? So I'm throwing Nick, and Nick brought so much chaos into, like, the first part. It's like, the three of us are all over the fucking place. We're going into the concessions, and what was that, what do they call that, shit, where you make money off of the table, the gimmick table.
Oh, the gimmick table. Yeah, that's right. We did go to the yeah.
I think we got, and you gigged right away. I think we got blood on some of the pictures and shit.
Yeah,
like
I wouldn't be
that was
surprised.
funny. So then, but then the second half, man, when we come out of the kitchen, you know, and that was the thing. I was telling Jimmy originally, like, because it was like an 11-man show.
Yeah.
And we were like the first and the last thing. And I was telling Jimmy, maybe, you know, during the Royal or something they had one of them 10-man Royals, we should just go through. I'm like, you know, they might forget about us. He's like, nah, I think you just come back at the end. Thing is, they did forget about us, but that was fucking awesome. It worked for our advantage. You know, I come out with the fork in your head, and they're like, oh, shit. And then, you know, it's like people think the show's over, and we're just giving them something. We're just starting, you know?
Riccolo was doing the closing announcements, and all of a sudden we come flying out of the kitchen, and he's like, oh, I guess I got to get out of the ring. I guess it's still going. So it's just the idea that I thought was just so cool. And then we just finished everything off of that. Just to skim through a couple dates, I got a match that you actually wrestled Joe Heisman in POW.
Yes.
Too, which is kind of a cool connection, how you kind of rekindled that. Our first match was on 1/6 of 18. It was a double disqualification in that Franklin Park building. And then 3/3 of 18, it was me and Chris Cairo against you and Jeff Luxon. So that's the match you talked about there.
Exactly. That was at Fox Lake.
Yes. The month before that also, we did another double count out at T Woods. We did a little match there. And then 6/23 of 18 is the Chicago Street Fight. But I do have this from T Woods. We got our name on the big thing, and we're on the front here.
Yeah. Very good.
So that's
very
one of the
good.
few that I still have back from at that time.
6/23, huh?
And that as soon as I saw that, I'm like,
oh, wow.
How weird is that for that street fight? It's the famous Jimmy, Jimmy Sandman.
Yeah,
street fight.
now that I think about it,
that's the TV.
I remember promoting that show with Jimmy, and Jimmy like, yeah, it's 6/23.
Yeah, how weird is that?
I guess he had a couple of dates to pick, and he picked that date.
Yeah, that's weird, isn't it? I never even thought of that until just going over that, like yesterday and today when I was making sure I had everything together.
I remember Jimmy saying that. Yeah.
Yep. All right, you ready for some? Before I go to that, I know you said you didn't really want to go out the way it didn't happen the way you really wanted it to. I was always hoping that this kind of gave you a little bit of fulfillment on being able to go out your way.
It did.
Have this one last feud with hopefully somebody you thought, at least I think of you as that mutual mind of we like the same style of wrestling, we like it
exactly.
We like to do hardcore stuff, and it was a very kindred spirit kind of relationship that we clicked. Right away. We had so much fun.
I did too. Yeah, it was the last time I really had that much fun. Yeah. But I mean, I don't know, like the movie Rocky VI. I think there's a little something in the basement. I feel.
we got to convince the wife one more time.
I feel it. I feel like there's that something in the basement, man. So
one more match.
Who knows what'll happen? Who knows what'll happen in this world? But I feel it there, man. I gotta let it out. But actually, we kind of missed one thing that I was really hoping to address for the first time. Okay. It's probably about more than 20 years old. was a second split.
Oh, yes.
So,
Yeah, throw that out there real quick before we go to the personal questions.
there was a lot of problems with. I wasn't involved. It was more of the investors fighting back and forth on each side.
And this is after the CCW.
Yes,
split. This is the second split now.
Yes, okay. This is, let's see, in between Dream Nights 2 and 3. So that's like around 2003, 2004. We had a big split, like half the company split in half. And like I said, there were some investors on each side. There was like, Scarpone and Burke, and, they had their people. And then there was like Rick and Rocket and Wally. And the funny thing about that is, like, when I first came into business, it was Jimmy and Wally. It was Rick and Dave. And it was John and Rocket. And it's just kind of somehow,
Well, that split from 2003 is the birth of AAW then, wouldn't it?
It was.
So that's the second one. So
yeah.
CCW was first. Then a year later, then that was the one that went out?
Yeah.
Yeah, and AAW, because Flyboy TK and Tony Scarpone, I think, actually started AAW.
Really? Okay.
Yes.
I think Burke was involved, too.
I'm sure he was.
Yeah.
So,
I wasn't involved in a lot of stuff, and then we were doing this show. It was called Unknown. So what they were going to do is pick the show out of a hat and have us on our toes. We weren't going to find out who we were working.
That's a lot of fun to do that.
A couple shows
Jimmy
with
did that
people
too.
before that.
Yep.
So, but then I think it was Burke and some guy, Double J at the time. They had picked. They were supposed to like pick it in front of everybody. Okay. Well, they had picked it like a day or two before that, and the matches seemed to work too well. Than being like I was working Rick, which would have been great. It was an early match. We were going to get done, all that. Well, some people got upset and they're like, fuck it, we're not doing this. We all want to see it and we all want to see it happen. Well, I actually drew the world champion at the time, Eagle. So it got pretty interesting. So Rick pulls me aside. And Eagle and Scarpone are kind of watching what's going on. They were kind of looking at us talk. And Rick's like, listen. He goes, you got a big shot here. You're wrestling the world champion. And I was actually started before Eagle. Eagle just, his character and everything just kind of skyrocketed. Some people say he was pushed, but I think he was over. I mean, the guy was over. And if it was me, I might have waited a little bit just to get him more over before he finally gets it, give him more of a chase. But on the other hand, there's also that surprise, like a guy come out of nowhere and win the title thing. And that's what it was. And I think it was working well for him. And Rick's like, I'm going to do commentary. Make sure you don't let him job you out, which to people who don't know means like take advantage of you in the ring and just do all the moves and make you look like shit and make them look strong. And he was obviously going over, but like I said earlier, you don't have to go over to get over. And that's what Rick was telling me. He goes, do your thing, man. Don't look bad. He goes, I'll be doing commentary, He goes, but if he makes you look like shit, I'm going to have to make you look like shit on commentary. He goes, go out there and do it. Well, they took it as Rick telling me to beat the shit out of him. Now, number one, knowing me, how I was at that time, I wouldn't do something like that. They should all know that I wouldn't do something like that. And if I wanted, at that time, shit, it wouldn't have taken me more than 5 minutes. But I would have done it outside the ring. But, and then I'm talking a little bit with Eagle. They gave us a couple minutes. And, I'm not going to say exactly, but, the guy there was something going on with the guy. Everybody knew what he was doing. There were pictures on the internet of the sudden change. That's all I'm going to say. So this guy's, getting ready, like wild before the match. And I'm, a little concerned. I'm thinking it has to do with what he's doing, what he's on or whatever. But the guy was getting ready for a fight. And I wasn't. So, and I had I just thought he was pumping himself up a little bit. So, we lock up, whatever. He gets me down, he kicks me real hard in the back. Real hard. And then he does it again. I'm like, damn, this motherfucker's stiff. So we're going to do it like this, whatever. So then he throws me into the rope, comes in with a huge kick across my face. Now, I didn't mind that much because it busted my lip open real bad and I was bleeding. So, it was like me. Get free color.
Yeah.
It's always a good thing.
Yep.
And then it just kept going. And I'm like, damn. And I'd hit him, I would give him moves back, and I wasn't really that stiff. I was trying to, calm him down a little. I felt
still trying
like.
to work on him.
Yeah, and then the next thing, he always did, the couple flips, bounce off the turnbuckle, do backflips, stuff like that. So he gets on the rope, and I'm, bracing for that. And, well, it's actually more popular now because Finn Balor does it. It was Loki at the time. He used to do that double stomp on your chest. This guy he's broke. He ended up breaking 2 ribs and bruising a couple.
Damn.
Coming down. And I'm just holding myself. And he's like, you want to go home? And I'm like, yeah, let's do I forget his finishing move. He put you like this and did something like this, finishing move, and we went home. And I even remember hearing Rick on commentary, well, Butcher is just no match for Ego, And then I get in the back and I see Rick like this. And I'm like, what the fuck? And Rick's like, what the fuck did you do to this guy? This guy came out there and left open. Well, and then Scarpone's like, well, Butcher was sent out there to beat him up. And Rick's like, from who? You never heard us have this conversation. You just assume. And Scarpone should have known me better.
Yeah.
Scarpone should have fucking known me better. That I wouldn't do that. I mean, I heard them actually on some website about AEW. They were with Danny Daniels and everything. They actually said, and it kind of hurt me that, Ego got the best of me. Nah, not back then. You could have put us in that bathroom. I guarantee you I would have walked out. I mean, I was a different person back then. These guys, and Ego was, he was still a kid. He hadn't been through what I've been through. Most of those guys hadn't been through kind of the shit that I was through. And they have that really bothered me that it was out there that he got the best of me, which didn't fucking happen. I swear on everything sacred to me. I was told not to get jobbed out, and this guy I left myself open for him and beat the fuck out of me. So then, it was like Rick, they broke Rick up, from going after him, and I finally gauged, what happened. I was sitting with Rocket, and I gauged what happened. I got up for it. I'm like, wait, what just fucking happened to me? Fuck this guy. And Rocket sat me down. He goes, sit down, Butcher. Don't make it any worse. I guarantee you this guy will never work there again. Rocket didn't lie. Rocket didn't lie. And after that, it was like, John Berg, God rest his soul, but I heard he said that I need to toughen up and learn how to wrestle, which really bothered me because I like John. I was real close with John. That really set me off. To be honest with you, I was working in the meat department, and I threw a bunch of shit down at work, and I never did shit like that. But I was so upset about people saying this and hearing all this. But, the company, it just ended up being the split after that. That was the end of the line with everybody. And Jimmy and Dave, they both called me up because they didn't know the whole situation, but they knew, something had happened to me. So both of them had said, Butcher, you got a home. You got a home. And I will always, respect. Like I said, Jimmy, if he ever thought anything wasn't good for me over there, he always had a home for me in POW. And I always appreciate that. But yeah, then the split happened, and it actually worked in my advantage because the first show we did, Ego was the champ. So we had to, it took some work to get the title from him, but we got the title from him. And then we had to have a new champion. So this battle royal last 8. It was in January. I was number 9. I was 1 point away from being in that final 8. But by Dream Night, I was in the heavyweight title match because shit had opened up. Yeah. And I took it. I knew I took advantage. I'm like, hey, shit's opening up now. There's some guys not here, some guys, So you gotta, every good happens out of bad, So it's like I saw that opening and I took it, and that's the whole story of that. I just wanted to get it off my chest.
That's pretty cool too, because
I did not go out to hurt him, and he did not get the better of me. That's just Something I've never got to say, but
I'm glad that again you have the opportunity to say that
Yes.
for you to like they say get it off your chest, and that's the
Exactly.
first time that split has been told because we've had Jimmy talking about the CCW one, but that's the first time for sure now to get a detailed explanation of the second split. So
exactly.
that works perfect. All right, you ready for some rapid fires?
Let's go.
Personal opinions.
Let's go.
These are either ors. You got to pick one or the other, just like apple or orange.
Orange.
Dog or cat?
Dog. that's
We just got attacked a couple minutes ago.
that's not even a
Coke or Pepsi?
Pepsi.
Cake or pie?
Boston cream pie. Or French soap pie. Yeah, pie.
Hamburger or hot dog?
Well, that's a tough one. I gotta go with the burger though.
Steak or chicken?
Steak.
Soup or salad?
Depends, but I'll go with the soup.
Eating out or cooking at home? That's a loaded question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cook it at home. I know the food's gonna be good.
The mountains or the beach?
Another good one. I have to go with the beach because the mountains can get a little cold and people die up there. So people do die on the beach from a shark, though. So
I get a little dark with this one because I am kind of morbid. Buried or cremated?
I think buried's good.
Would you rather be in the main event or the opening match?
Depends if they have beer at the show. No, the main. It's the main. I mean, the opening match is good, but the main is the main.
We always tease with people because when you're young, you want the main event when you're in the opening match. But when you get our age, they make you be in the main event, but you really want the opening match. You can get done and get out of there and go. Right?
Well, Wally would fuck with me sometime because like Summit was one of the few places we can drink, and he would put me on late because you're early, you get done with your match. Because I never drank before my match, I was never like that. So it was like, you put me on early at first match. I'm done. I start drinking, and then, but he'd put me on late just to fuck with me.
Would you rather have a manager or not have a manager?
Probably not unless it was Paul Heyman.
Would you rather do singles or tag?
Singles.
Heel or babyface? See, now that's a loaded question like George because you both like heel, but you guys got turned by the fans and became these ultimate baby faces.
I had in any kind of company or whatever, I haven't worked as a heel since 2003. But I would say heel just to fucking go out there and piss everybody
So much
off.
more fun, isn't it?
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
You don't remember.
I had like a year and a half at it.
All right, these are favorites. Your favorite color?
Usually blue, like a metallic blue type.
Favorite season? I take it it's not going to be winter.
No, not winter, but I'd probably have to go with fall because of Halloween.
The perfect temperature?
Outside? About 72, 75, around there.
Top 2 movies? We've been talking about that recently. Well, we know one for sure. I'm pretty much.
Yeah. Well, actually, I have more like a top 3.
Sure. I usually try to narrow it down because everybody can't make a choice on one, so I'll give a couple extras. So if you got 3,
And they're all best
Let me have
pictures. They're all best pictures. Unforgiven, best picture in 1990. Best picture of 2000, Gladiator. And best picture of 95, my favorite all-time movie, Braveheart.
Okay. TV show.
Breaking Bad, Sopranos, Game of Thrones, one of those. I guess I have to go Breaking Bad because it ended better. A lot of these shows are so fucking good, but they end like shit.
That is true.
But Breaking Bad ended good, so I'm going to go Breaking Bad.
Top 2 bands, music bands.
That's hard for me because I love so many, and I love so many different kind of music. I gotta go with Zeppelin.
Okay.
Oh man, Floyd, The Doors. It's hard. I'll go with Zeppelin and The Doors.
Okay. Give me one song from each.
Zeppelin, probably The Levee Breaks. I love the old drum beats. All these people that love rap music and say bad stuff about Led Zeppelin don't understand that all that beats are in their music. And then, what was the outdoors?
Yeah.
The end.
Okay.
The end, yes.
Favorite restaurant? Sit down restaurant.
I don't go to many restaurants, but one place I really like is Denny's, man. I love those hash browns. I love those hash browns. Like, I can't do it at home. I can't. That's one thing. There are certain little things I can't match. I could cook anything.
Oh, you have a hash brown weakness?
But no, they do hash brown covered and smothered. They have
yeah.
like a white gravy with cheese and a little onions and peppers.
Waffle House does that stuff
But
too.
I can't do it the way they do it.
Yeah.
I can't get it just the way they do it. See, everywhere else I eat, I can go home and make it. You
How
know,
about a quick fast food spot?
fried chicken, Popeyes. If I was in South Carolina, it'd be Bojangles. Oh man,
buddy.
oh shit, I was there once. It's the best chicken I ever had.
Favorite drink of choice?
Roy Rock beer.
Cereal.
Go to the camera. Cereal. Good old Cheerios. Cheerios are okay.
Candy.
Candy? I used to really like those. I don't know if they still make them. They had these Chewy Runs.
Yeah, those are
Yeah.
I haven't had those long. Those are good.
Those are good. I go with the Chewy Runs.
Give me your best pizza ingredient combination. You
See,
can
I
make your
don't-
perfect one.
I don't like too much, but I guess the best combination would be garlic on the bottom and then sausage, green pepper, and onion. But I'm good as long as there's sausage on it that has fennel.
This makes me think of Two Fingers. If you watched that one, I asked him that too. He said just plain cheese. And I'm like, what?
Because he
It
don't
just
trust
seems
the
so-
sausage.
That's exactly what he said. He's like, if I see somebody and I get them somewhere with pieces of sausage, I take it off and I pick it off my plate.
Yeah, he don't
'Cause he's
trust
like,
it.
I know how it's made and I don't know where anybody's made.
Exactly.
It was so, he had us cracking up so
Yeah,
much.
we went.
I think about that every time now.
Yeah, there was the show he wrestled Al Snow. We went out. We went to see him. And we went out with him afterwards. It was one of the Battle of the Belts, and he's like, you know, I'm like, you're not getting sausage on your pizza? He goes, I don't trust it, man. I'm like, as soon as he said it, I'm
Yeah,
like, I
it's
understand.
so funny.
I totally understand that.
Tattoo.
I got scars.
There you go. Favorite,
Montgomery Gentry, tattoo and scars.
favorite sport other than wrestling?
I have to say football. I'm a Browns fan, so it's very, very disappointing. But there's something about, man, September coming around and that first game. And being a Browns fan, you know, we're excited for the first couple of weeks. And then it's like, we're not going anywhere. So, but still,
It's the
it's
same thing with the Sox, though, so you should be used to it.
well, no, we won. They won a World Series while I'm alive. The Browns haven't even been to a Super Bowl before I was alive. Never.
Favorite place to wrestle? Town or building?
Summit, that little fucking building in Summit.
Favorite entrance song you've come out to?
Aneurysm. That was what I did pretty much 80% of my career.
Your favorite finishing move?
That I do or anybody
That you
does?
do.
I guess I like the Diamond Dust. That was always fun to do. That was something that I saw Masato Tanaka do to Just Incredible.
Yes,
And I
I
could
remember
never
that.
do it. I never really hit it right because people would do the knee bump. Well, I wrestled Sacrifice once and he rolled through it. And I watched the tape and I'm like, that's it. That's what it's supposed to look like.
Favorite title that you've won?
Has to be a heavyweight title, PCW.
This might be a hard one, and I added this one just for you. I customize these to each guest. Favorite food to cook?
Steak. Yeah, there's something about the smell on the grill and
What kind of cut and
porterhouse.
Porterhouse.
I love porterhouse. You got a strip steak on the top. You got a fillet on the bottom. You got fat around it. And you got a bone in the middle.
how's it being cooked?
See, there's so many. I would say medium, like a high medium for me, but it depends. Like I go to restaurants and say medium well, and they do it exactly the way I like it. I mean, I like a nice crisp outside, but I like to be a little pink inside. No red. I like it
I can't
pink.
take that either. Yeah, medium well. I'm on that same boat with you for sure. Hard questions. Hope you're ready. What is the longest match you've ever had?
I think it was at. No, wait. I'm trying to think. There was something that was really long.
You did mention you thought you went out there for an hour with that.
Yeah,
one.
it was an 8-man tag. I think that's the longest.
That's the
but
one.
I think there was a. I'm trying for some reason. Well, you know what? That 3 Stages of Hell at Dream Night 4 had to be over half an hour.
Okay.
Or something like that, you know. But I mean, see the 8-man it was like an hour, but I was in the ring that much.
Yeah,
know
you're
what
not
I mean?
fully in there for the whole time. Yeah.
Yeah.
What is the largest crowd you've ever been in front of?
I think it was a Flair show. I think it was a little over 2,000.
That was at the Oakland Pavilion? Okay.
Yeah, and the Warrior show was pretty close to that too.
How about the smallest crowd?
There were times I wrestled for like 20, 25 people.
Any rituals before wrestling?
Take a piss.
Or if you're Jimmy Blade, you take a piss in the middle of the match.
Yeah.
You did that.
That was one of the things Luke told me before my first match. I always take a piss before you go to the ring because once those nerves start coming, all of a sudden it's got to go. So if you have it out of you.
What is the worst locker room or building that you've been in? Meaning space-wise, dirty.
I don't know. It might be the same as my favorite because there's not a lot of space at Summit. There really isn't. Yeah, maybe. Well, I'm trying to think. The Legion doesn't have a lot of space back there either, you know.
Wakanda's in that
Yeah.
area too, if you remember Wakanda. Well,
Yeah,
down in the
yeah.
basement, the dirty.
Well, I know the
dirty musty
BCW
basement.
school in Elk Grove, the locker room was, you had more room in a can of sardines.
Yeah, so I don't know. Let's go with the same as the favorite. Let's go with Summit.
Okay. You collect anything?
Knives, weapons.
Did you ever have a paranormal experience?
I don't know if I'd quite go there. There were some things like that were kind of crazy after my dad passed. Like for years, he would watch this hawk. It was like it never got close. It was always he'd get his binoculars out and watch this hawk fly around. The hawk would never like get close to the house. But the morning he died, that hawk sat on our fence for like 3 minutes.
Interesting.
Yes, and there were some other little things that just like they're like wow, you know, make you guess, you know.
Okay. I always like this question because half the people take a second before they answer it. Have you ever been arrested?
Yes, many times.
It's up to you if you want to go any further than that.
Assault and batteries. You know, when I was young, DUI. Actually, 2. One when I was 16. One when I was 21.
That's way in the past.
Yep. So yeah.
Number one pet peeve in wrestling.
Guys who think they're bigger than the business. Guys who don't want to work. Like, you know, don't want to work with somebody else. Think it's all about them and just you know, jag-offs. Pretty much, that's what you can call them. So,
What is the best thing that you've ever owned? Or your favorite thing you've ever owned? Same thing.
I don't know. Maybe either that or that.
The heavyweight title?
Yeah, or that. I mean that.
That's pretty cool.
They did the one thing we had, the appreciation night. That's what other flyers they gave me.
Oh, it came from that?
Yeah, they gave me that. Tommy Heisman had that done, and it's like an oil painting. It's just amazing.
Yes.
It's really something cool, man.
That one looks so much like an actual picture of your face on that one.
Yeah, when I've moved a couple times since I got it, I was more worried about that than any of my TVs.
Do you have any irrational fears?
Irrational fears. I don't think so. I don't really get irrational. Like the
Yeah, anything goofy and weird.
Like, weird.
Afraid of spiders.
Well, I
afraid of bugs,
used
something
no.
like
I
that,
used to always like. It's something like curing wrestling. I used to be always like have these dreams about falling back on a ladder. So I did a couple ladder matches and cured that shit.
That'll work. If you can see any band play that you have never seen.
Live or Dead?
Yep.
It's a tough one because I kind of want to say the Doors because their concerts were nuts, but God, what would it be to see like the full Beatles? I've seen a lot of good bands. I'm lucky enough to see a lot of good bands. I'll go with the Doors, like in one of their crazy concerts in Chicago where Morrison's tearing shit up. That would be fun to be at.
If you can wrestle anywhere that you haven't.
See, there's always the Garden, but growing up, I always went to the Rosemont Horizon All-State Arena.
That was my place too. Yep.
So that could be
With just the one light over the ring, and everything else was dark.
That would probably be it.
If you could take a vacation anywhere in the world that you haven't been.
There's a couple, but I'd probably go with Scotland.
Braveheart connection down there.
Yeah, a little bit. It's a beautiful country.
Sure
The more I look into it and stuff like that, and they have like a 45-foot statue of William Wallace, and it just seems like a real cool place, and it's a lot different than America. And the scenery is just
the
green. Yeah, exactly.
If you can meet one wrestler ever that you never had before,
Arn Anderson.
If you could meet anyone that has ever lived in history, who would you meet? Good thinkers in here, huh?
Yeah, I got a few though. I mean, it's kind of. I might have to say, stay with the same Braveheart thing. I might have to say William Wallace. Okay. It'd be interesting with that, but I mean, there's so many people. I'll just go with William Wallace, I think.
These next ones are categories of your experience in wrestling itself. Who's the nicest guy in the business?
There's a few. I'm going to go with Wally. Okay. I'm going to go with Wally Wild.
Who's the biggest asshole?
In my experience, I go with Johnny Mac.
Who's the stiffest?
Jay Phoenix. We've had some, but I was just stiff, so it's not. I'm not saying this is a negative to him. We went in there and we just knew what we were doing. We just beat the fuck out of each other.
The lightest.
Sacrifice.
The best puncher.
Best puncher, huh? That I've worked with, or
yes, your own personal.
New Jack.
Best promo.
There's a few good ones. You know what? From at the top of Joe Heisman is really good, but GPA cut some good fucking promos. He was later in my career. I had some fun working with him.
I remember that guy too. Yeah.
But he got it. He got his character. Mm-hmm. So I'll go with GPA.
Okay. Who do you think was the most underrated?
See, a lot of guys that I'm fans of seem to have done well. I'm trying to think if there was somebody that would really fit that. Oh man, that's a good one. You stuck me on that one.
That's my plan.
That one really got me stuck.
Nick needs a fire built over here.
Yeah, I know.
It's beautiful down here.
Shit, maybe.
Even if you say skip, I've had people say skip if it's too hard of a choice.
Yeah, it's just there's like I said, everybody I could think of. No one is really that underrated. You got me a good one on that one.
We'll go the opposite. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I think you're jumping in. So go to the opposite way. Overrated.
Overrated. I don't know. The person that I would think of, I kind of like, so I don't want to.
No, it's
I'm gonna skip that.
I allow skips on those two. Your favorite tag team partners. Give me two of them.
Rick Knight. Oh man, Big Rob was fun, but we didn't tag that long. I guess I'd have to say Aries, Rick Knight and Aries, because me and Aries, we had a good run. We had a really good run.
Okay. Give me your favorite opponents. Give me 3.
Joe Heisman, Rick Knight, me and Rick, man, we just had fun out there. I'd say like you and Two Fingers. That's 4, but
Appreciate that very much.
that's what I would say because the connection.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Joe, I had a good connection. Those are probably the 4 people I had the most connection with. You, Two Fingers, Joe Heisman, and Rick Knight.
Very cool.
And Rocket too. I got to throw Rocket in there.
All right, this is now Mount Rushmore time of your all-time favorite people. So give me the Mount Rushmore of 4 singles wrestlers.
Of like everybody.
Yeah, of you ever. Not necessarily that you work with, but of all time.
Arn Anderson, Shawn Michaels, Bret Hart. I don't know, man. This is guy who hasn't been around, but I'm just impressed with him. He's probably been around less than 10 years, but when I saw this kid the first time, he was 22, and I couldn't believe someone could be that good at 22. I got Sam Jeff.
I do the same thing for tag, Mount Rushmore tag teams.
Demolition, Hart Foundation, Road Warriors, Dudley Boys. Dudley Boys number 1.
Give me your dream tag team match you could ever have. Pick your dream partner and pick your 2 opponents.
Yeah, this would be a pretty sick match, but I'm thinking me and Sabu versus the Dudleys.
Wow,
That would be fucking sick.
That's a good one.
That would be fucking sick, but it would be.
That's a good one.
It would be fun.
That's a good one. Dream singles match.
It'd have to be in a steel cage because that's the only thing I never did, and I want to do it. Probably have to go with Sabu.
Isn't that weird though about ECW? They really didn't do any cage matches that
You
much.
know
They
what?
had some early 94, 95, Public Enemy Gangsters,
No, you know
Eliminators,
who-
but
you
they
know
didn't
who
really
would
do
be-
any after
You
that.
know who I think I could. Our styles are a little bit different, but they're kind of the same. But I think I could do really good work with RVD. I think me and RVD in a cage would be something.
Interesting. Final 5. Give me your injuries from wrestling.
Wrists, shoulders, back, knees, ankles are good, believe it or not. Oh, like I can move a piece around on my elbow. Both shoulders are shot. Lower back hurts. Probably easier where I didn't get injured, which is pretty much my ankles. I lost a couple teeth. I mean, shit.
Give me your best rib story
Yeah, see, I ain't got too
that
many
you were a
good
part of or that
ones.
you've seen.
I'm sure if I think about it, I've seen some good ones. I wasn't. I mean, when I was involved with ribs, it was more of like I didn't want. I saw. See, I'm not gonna say they're good because people pissed in people's shit or put rotten apples and shit like that.
You can take it
They're-
too far. That's for sure.
See, but the ones I was involved in was one was a Joe Heisman, and Wally loved to do it. Wally loved to do it, and it was never like put like something bad in somebody's thing. Like I had this shirt, it said something about you see a cop, drop the donuts and run. And Joe Heisman's a cop.
Yeah.
So we put a T-shirt in his bag. That's not bad. It was a funny shirt. And then Steve Heisman, he would always call me, even though we were probably like 10 years apart, maybe less. He'd always call me an old man. I call him a young kid. So one day I put a pacifier in his bag. You know, it wasn't licked or anything. But see, he pissed me off because no one ever ribbed me except for him. And then he put Viagra in my bag, which is pretty cool. But he's like, you know what he did? He's like, go look in your bag.
You don't tell somebody.
Yeah.
That doesn't work.
He goes, is there something in your bag? I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, man, let me find it.
Yeah.
That was the only time I was ever ribbed.
Yeah, that's how you do it.
Yeah.
What has wrestling given to you?
Confidence, great memories, just you know that you know, I don't know, it's given me friends, it's given me a good part of my life, it's given me the way I think, you know, it's given me some of the best things in life.
What has wrestling taken away from you?
The ability to do some simple things, you know, like normal, like, you know, sometimes sometimes I actually hurt my back wiping my ass, so fuck, I'm honest. But,
We've all gone through that, I'm sure, one time or another, being around so long. But
yeah. I mean, but besides, it hasn't taken nothing that I can't live without.
final question. Could be the hardest one. What is the legacy, or what do you want the legacy of the Butcher in wrestling to be?
Well, with the boys, somebody who was always cool and respectful and treated this business like respect. And for the fans, one of the craziest fucks they've ever seen.
To close the show, tradition that I always do, I take a moment in time that I've had with the guest as yourself in the ring.
Oh, nice.
That was from T-Woods.
Oh, yeah.
Show. I only had, I don't know, 5 or 6 pictures, and the one guy I knew that was a photographer, I couldn't access his photos. I still can't today, I don't know why, but in our final act is we both sign this pic. One for you and one for me.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'll find room.
That way I got one for every show, and every guest has them to put them wherever they like to remember, hopefully, this
And
fun
see,
experience.
my autograph is not no sign. It's like the Butcher. He wouldn't do it in handwriting. You know,
He doesn't know how to do cursive.
He'd do it like a little kid. You know.
Should do it with a knife.
Yeah, blood. Yeah,
Scratch
trust
it.
me.
Yep,
Oh,
that one's yours.
oh, that's mine.
Yep, I'll take that one.
Trust me.
All right, my friend, I hope you enjoyed our awesome 4 hours of this.
Oh,
and,
dude, I've had a blast. This
you
has been
much
great. Thank you,
for
man.
being on here. Thank you what you've done for the sport of wrestling, and thank you for having the great time with me in the ring. I appreciate you getting there with me.
Oh,
and
brother,
thanks
thank
for
you
being
so
on.
much.
Absolutely.
I
Hope you
am
had a good
honored
time.
to be here, and you know, this has been a great 4 hours reminiscing.
Awesome.
And it's great. It was great having you and Nick over for dinner. I love you guys.
Yes.
Go way back, and
Amazing food. Holy
Very
shit,
good.
he's an amazing cook.
Oh.
Can't wait to do it again.
yes,
That wraps up hour number 4 with the one and only Butcher himself. We'll see you guys next time for Wrestling on the Fly. Like and share on Facebook and YouTube channel. It's on Spotify also. For my sidekick Nick H, for the Butcher, I am Scott Spade. We'll see you guys next time on Wrestling on the Fly.